Hello everyone and welcome to numero 9 of the podcast. We have another fantastic episode coming your way, so grab some popcorn or a desired snack and join us. By us I mean I have two lovely individuals joining us once again. First, as usual, I have Jon, half of JaRDev, because Robby's dead. How's it going, Jon?
Hi Jimmy, Robby's in Mexico actually, he's not dead.
Oh right, okay, same thing.
He's dead to me.
And also with us today is the man with the voice as smooth as caramel. He's one of us YouTubers. Is Brett, also known as Sir Crest. Welcome again for the second time. How's it going?
Hello. It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you both again.
Thanks, man.
So, welcome to the gaming podcast. First, we're going to talk about what kind of games we've been playing. Then we move on to news. But first, I want to tell you guys about a dream I had just last night, actually. Not last night, but the night before. It's quite interesting. Have you guys heard of the game Gods Will Be Watching?
Yes, I've been about to play that. Not yet, though.
It is awesome. I was playing it last week. I think that's what inspired my dream. But imagine a kind of superhero turn-based strategy game, right? Kind of like Gods Will Be Watching. You're given like scenarios where you have to solve using your using superhero powers. Mm-hmm. Like supposing you have the X-Men, you have like a bridge that is destroyed. And you have like Iceman, you have to make a bridge with the ice and then save civilians. It'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Sounds sick.
Did I explain it okay?
I think so.
Like,
yeah.
You have like three things, right? The civilians you have to bring across the bridge. There's a enemy that is messing you up, and then there's the actual bridge you have to fix. And you're given different like superheroes.
Soupy?
Different superheroes. That'd be pretty cool.
It's a new mascot for Campbell's Soup.
That's one of the playable characters, yeah.
Collect all the superheroes.
I'm serious about this. Maybe I should go contact Marvel or something.
Yeah, I think you could make that, yeah. And you have like do you have RPG Maker? You could probably build it in that.
Yeah. It'd look really poo-poo though.
And then you can send it to Retsupre.
Ah. I know, I want this game to be good though. It's not a parody game. So anyway, right. So when news comes around we can talk about some Twitch stuff going on there, which is quite interesting. And also I want to rant a bit about fish-based Pokemon.
Sure.
Let's start off with some of the games we've been playing. Which of you two wants to kick us off? Who's dying to go?
I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
All right. Well, how about this time around I talk about new games? All right, so
sure.
One of the games I've been playing is a game called Pixel Piracy.
Oh yeah.
Which is it's been in early access for a while, and I just got a copy of it when it was released. And it's the best way I describe it is side-scrolling 2D Mountain Blade. So if any of you have played, or any of you listening, or you guys here have played Mountain Blade, you kind of know what that's like.
I haven't played Mountain Blade.
I haven't played it, but I've played Pixel Piracy.
All right. Well, okay, maybe this will translate in different ways. Mountain Blade is outside of the direct combat. It's about managing. It's about managing your soldiers, managing their food, their pay, going on kind of this quest to. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a weird way. In an RPG, you level up and you have skills and things. But imagine an RPG for every single one of your crew. Just like in Pixel Piracy and also in Mountain Blade as well, because you can upgrade soldiers as they gain experience. So the difference with Pixel Piracy and Mountain Blade, for instance, is the fact that Pixel Piracy's combat is kind of AI-based. It's not turn-based, because it happens in real time, but you don't go there and left-click to attack. You left-click on an enemy to tell your captain, basically, go attack that guy and keep doing it until you die, kind of.
Right.
And that was the biggest bit of confusion I felt, because from what I remember when I was doing the tutorial section, it was like, click on this guy to attack him. Okay, I'm clicking on him vigorously to keep him attacking.
So micro.
And it turns out... sorry?
It's not so micromanageably then? You can just click 2 units and then go somewhere else and focus on something else? And they'll fight it out?
Well, basically you click on... It's confusing. It's hard to explain, but it makes sense once you've sunk about 5 hours in, and when you've failed a lot. It's one of those games. Just like a Mountain Blade, you will fail badly the first 5 times you play it.
Yeah.
And the 6th time, you will be, a superpower and murder everyone once you figure out how the game works.
That's like a Plague Inc. Evolved for me. Once I figured out how to use the virus, the game became too easy.
Yeah, you figure out the patterns of it.
Yeah.
So in Pixel Piracy, you have... It's kind of hub-based. So you have a map, and there's a bunch of these squares, and these there's either discovered areas or unknown areas. And these areas can be islands, or they could be specific known encounters with pirates, or they could be towns or cities. Or when I say towns or cities, they're like 5 buildings.
Yeah.
And a bunch of just NPCs in there. So, I mean, that's how far I've been in the game. I have, let's see, I have 9 hours in the game.
Holy
and
crap.
I haven't gotten very far in it. Well, I want to get a really good handle on it before I do a video on it. But in any case, so in these areas, so in the cities, they're not all the same. Some may have a place where you can buy weapons. Sometimes there won't. Sometimes there will be a place to buy, food or upgrades for your ships or something. What is a bit frustrating is the fact that in the beginning, it kind of tells you to go ahead and hire workers, or not workers, crew, and you go to one of these cities and you're in this pub, I guess would be the term for it, and there's a bunch of these guys inside there, and you can figure out who to hire, and they have different prices and different skills and what their background is and things. And what kind of was weird is once I learned that I should disregard the game and just go it solo, I did way better.
Really?
Because at least that was the case for me. And I think I actually went with the background that gave me more starting gold, I think. But basically, here's why. If you have a crew, that's more poop on the poop deck. It's more food you have to buy. And
Really?
food is relatively expensive, at least starting out. You have to constantly be raiding to get enough gold just to get enough food. So there's a very, for me, there's a very tight profit margin, as it were, as you're playing. You're using a lot of the resources you're finding, and you have to keep raiding to keep buying food to have that really tiny, like 10% gold profit,
All I'm seeing
basically.
from the screenshots is just pictures of pirate ships. So where's the action in this game? Is it in a...
So, in 2 of those locations, the island and these pirate ship encounters, you can attack. So, occasionally, you will be intercepted by a pirate ship as you're traveling to a new location. And in this case, you have your pirate ship on the screen and the other pirate ship. Now, currently, the most people I've seen on a pirate ship is 3. And sometimes they're actually relatively low level. I think the highest level character I saw was like what I would equate to like level 5, and I was like level 15 at that point. And
Wow.
they only had like 60 HP, and I had 300. So it was me versus 3, and I had a...
Squash you, little pirate.
I picked up... It's kind of weird. I went from a really nice sword to a club that I got off a tribal guy, and I hit these guys so hard they just fly right out of the ship into the water, and they drown, which is pretty awesome. So there is a knockback mechanic, which is also very frustrating if you're on the edge of an island and you're being surrounded, because they'll just hit you, and the knockback will throw you into the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And you'll drown. But you can also get a swimming skill that will keep you from drowning. Anyway, so in these 2 locations,
in depth.
it is very in depth. It's
Does character modification as well?
There's so many options for the way you can play, and it opens up I mean, when you first start it, you think it's pretty daunting, but there's a few things to look out for. Like, one, upgrade your strength, so you're better in fights, because you're starting out, you're probably one of the only people you're going to have on your ship. And have high vitality, so your HP regenerates pretty quickly. And it will regenerate in real time as you're on an island or on a ship. But as you're traveling it, obviously, time is kind of sped up, so you'll recover much quicker there. But there's skills like cooking and fishing, and you need fishing rod to actually fish, but you need somebody to be able to cook it, or else you can't eat it, or else it's just inventory. So, I mean, that's kind of a small way to look at, but there's cleaning, which basically is the equivalent of kicking the poop off the poop deck in the ocean.
Of course.
It's hilarious. I don't know if anybody has seen that. But basically,
my poop.
As a test, I gave my crew member cleaning, and it requires a TP point, which TP actually it applies to everything, so it's not just only for poop. So you need a TP point to get it. So you have to level up in order to get that point to be able to spend on cleaning or any skill that you actually purchase. You basically go to a store and you buy, a book in order to learn something. So in that case, he or she will literally just walk around the ship and kick poop, and it would go into the ocean. It's actually pretty funny to watch. So it's very remarkably in depth, and it's almost daunting when you first start playing it, because you think, oh my god, what the hell do I do? Because the tutorial doesn't actually go that far.
No, I don't think it went far
a bit
enough.
Early.
I like games that do that. Let you figure out yourself.
Pixel piracy can be really confusing though. At first,
it's kind of like the equivalent of, I'm trying to think of an example of a game that's like that.
I was gonna ask what your experience was, John. Did you enjoy it? Or did you find it too much?
Well, looking at my Steam, I have a whopping 34 minutes clocked in it.
Whoa.
So I haven't really played it enough.
You just did a first impressions or something?
I didn't even do a first impressions. Basically, the Yogscast did a video on it. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'll go have a look at it. And, it looked pretty good. I think it was on sale. So I picked it up. And, even after watching their video and the tutorial, I still found it quite confusing. And I quit after, 20 minutes. But then I went back again recently.
Incentive for you to go back.
Yeah. But when I went back, I'd managed to pick it up way easier. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it is quite a steep learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult really.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of a steep learning curve, except there's steps. So
yeah,
if you just keep playing, you will work your way through it. It's not. It's daunting if you look at it as a whole, but a lot of things are opened up as you play more. So as long as you understand the best ways of starting out, which is probably hire one person, and then he will die pretty quick. But just to give you a little bit of help, because you just need a little bit of an edge fighting-wise in order to start raiding on your own.
You need a little bit of a meat shield.
Sorry?
You need a little bit of a meat shield so you don't die right away.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Some sponge.
But yeah, and also the other thing is it tells you straight up, if you don't think you're going to make it, just run away. And you can run right back into your ship and go to the world map to travel somewhere else. And even if they have grappling hooks, because the ship doesn't go to shore, it just is kind of off screen, and your character will throw a grappling hook onto the ground, and then will kind of, repel or climb over. It's kind of a funny little thing. So even if someone is in transit on a rope in order to get onto your ship, you can still travel away. So the game is very unforgiving, I guess. If you die, it's tricky. It saves the moment you arrive to a location. So if you do die on an island, you just reload from where you were, and you can just easily leave there.
Sounds like a kind of game that would have permadeath in it.
Well,
that would be so unforgiving. Just
is that an option?
Again.
Can you enable or disable permadeath?
I think so. When you start the game. I believe that's an option.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
The same as Darkwood, right? You guys played that.
Yeah.
We could talk about that. It's fantastic.
I was about to start that tonight.
When you turn permadeath on, totally different game.
Yeah.
When you have permadeath off, you're like, oh, I died, big deal. Start again.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, let's move on to Darkwood because I could talk about that for ages.
So yeah, Pixel Piracy is great.
It is really good, actually. Yeah.
And I hope to do a video on it because it is very confusing. It's very. Sorry, this is my way of still talking about it. I just want to say that, not that it's unforgiving, it's very difficult starting out, but it has little things that you can use to, like, it's all right, just take a break.
It's just rewarding.
Take a breath and try it again. So it's very friendly in that way. But like you said, you can, John, when you said you only put like 30 minutes into it, I typically can't play it, just the game. I have to have like a podcast running or something. Because it's a very, just like with Mount & Blade, it's a very boring game on its own.
Yeah,
I typically need to just turn down the music, turn down the volume, and listen to something else. That's how I played Mount & Blade, because there's so much slow stuff going on with it.
Those kind of games are fun. You can multitask, and yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do with like Civ 5 now. I just go through podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm done with Pixel Piracy, so I just wanted to make that last point.
Though, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and the ship battles in that are bloody fantastic. So good.
Like, I still haven't played Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, I've only played the first game.
Yeah, me too.
I did finish it.
I played the first one and the second one. Yeah. But Black Flag, oh my god, they nailed that naval battles.
Really?
It feels so good, like on the water, and oh god. Anyway, enough of that. It's pretty old. Last year, God. Oh no, this year. I don't know. So what else you been playing? You want to talk about Darkwood, or you got anything else first?
Well, as far as Darkwood goes, I haven't played it since I did my impressions, which even then I've. How many hours do I have on it? 3 hours in it.
Wow.
Even though, well, to be fair, my impressions video was 58 minutes long or something.
An hour and 14 seconds.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't want to stop playing. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been technically three main patches since I played it. No, actually two, because I played on Alpha 1.1, but I didn't realize it actually at the time. Lots of pretty good fixes, things that I was actually having some problems with.
Right.
But
I didn't run into anything, but I noticed they did 3 patches since I played it.
And for me, a lot of the actual problems were just little glitches that made it. Like one of the biggest problems is if you're in that I experienced when I was playing is that if you opened a compartment or a chest or a wardrobe or something, and then the day changed, that menu would be open nonstop.
Oh,
which made it very annoying because it's right over your character. So you didn't really know what your character was pointing at or something like that. That was very frustrating, and I haven't played it since then, so I don't know if that's been fixed.
Can you just reload a save? Are there even saves in that?
Well, the saves don't work if you close the game. So when you play a game of it, you kind of just have to go as far as you can.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's a bug or they meant for it to be like that. I think they haven't fixed it.
No, it was.
Cool.
I mean, when they first launched it, they said, "Look, loading a save doesn't really work. It actually causes some pretty serious glitches. So for now, play as far as you want, and then assume you'll have to make a new save, afterwards."
Plus, which
was unfortunate.
All the fixes delete the save, don't they?
The first two, I think, but Alpha 3, I think it said it doesn't change the saves. I don't remember.
But for
that was Alpha 1.2.
I don't think we've actually said what the game is.
That's true.
I guess you could describe it as a kind of top-down roguelike. It has roguelike elements, but it has more adventure and a bit of storyline to the gameplay as well, which makes it really interesting.
I would define it as the forest designed by the Silent Hill developers, made in a top-down 2D environment.
Huh.
Wow. Yes. That is it. Yeah, I saw a lot of kind of similarities to the forest, which I love. And
that's not necessarily a bad thing. The forest has, it's on the right track. I would say.
We talk about the forest a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, I think like
me and John love it.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 podcasts always had a bit about the forest.
I've actually yet to play it.
Even though I keep getting stuck in rocks and flying up in the sky.
Yeah.
You seem to encounter more glitches.
There's one glitch where I just started floating for no reason.
It's a feature.
That was so weird.
But there's so much potential in the forest, and there's a lot of potential in Darkwood as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
like,
so I've only done like the tutorial. I don't even know if I've finished the tutorial in Darkwood. Like
the prologue.
Yeah.
Well, have you spoken to the wolf guy yet?
The wolf guy.
Then no, you haven't finished it.
So yeah, I'm not even out of like the prologue yet. So I don't really know what the game's about.
Well, the prologue tells you pretty much.
But yeah, like I haven't seen
kind of
anything about the forest.
Plague.
Okay.
Okay, so you haven't woken up then?
I think I ended right as my guy woke up.
Okay, well, it's kind of like you have to explore the forest. There's actually things for you to do in your journal. And I think it's randomly generated, because the second time I played it, everything was different.
Okay.
It's right now it's randomly generated as far as locations of some houses and objectives. Yeah. Right now, though, unfortunately, a lot of it's still kind of specified. When I first started playing the prologue, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is procedural. This is amazing." And then I realized later that basically this was specifically crafted. This is the prologue to introduce the player, and the actual environments themselves, for the most part, are already set. It would be awesome if in the future if they managed to develop a system that had that type of detail and, look to it, yet procedural. That would be incredible.
I think its main strength, though, is the sound design. I think the sound makes that game.
It's unbelievable.
The sound in that game is crazy. I don't know how much you've seen of the sound, John, but like moving shit around and stuff.
Yeah.
Even just walking.
It's incredible.
I remember like pushing a stool or something. That was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a stool grinding against the wood floors.
Yeah. In like an empty house.
Fantastic.
It's really well done.
I can't wait to fire a gun. I picked up a gun, but I didn't have any ammo for it. I want to know how that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like the echoes of the gun are pretty sick.
There was in the 1.3 patch, it mentioned something that rain was too loud, and one of the things I loved in Darkwood,
I loved that the rain was loud. Yeah.
Was that the thunderstorms were so loud, because when thunder. I don't know how many of you listening have ever been in a really tropical area.
I live in Singapore. We get thunderstorms all the time.
Yeah, I assumed. But when lightning strikes, 200 feet away, 500 feet away, that breaks windows. It's so loud. And this game, when I played it, I haven't played it since version 1.1, that thunder should be insanely loud. Because it startles you. And, it's kind of one of those things where it's not really a jump scare in the right sense. You know what I mean? It's not the game like... Scare. How do we make this guy scared? Oh, I know. Let's flash something in his face. But, that's so atmospheric. That's how thunderstorms feel. They throw you off guard.
I completely hate jump scares, but Darkwood, it's more creepy than it is frightening.
It's really well crafted scares.
But, I have one complaint about it.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't reached this kind of gameplay, John, but the gameplay is split into like day and night. So during the day you'll go around scavenging, and then in the night you have to hide in your house.
Oh, cool.
And the first time I played it, I was walking around my house, so I think the monsters that come at night must have heard me, and they broke in the windows and killed me, whatever.
Oh my god.
But the second time I hid in a corner. I hid in the corner of my house, didn't make a noise, and you can hear them outside, like kind of going more scary than that, but
And
the solution was just
we
to
can
kind of
only-
stand still and do nothing.
we can only describe what that's like, but until you play it and you're in a dark room and you're sitting there in your corner, you have no lights. The generator's in a different building. You can't turn it on. And you're sitting there in the corner. All you have is this little tiny, like 20 by 20 pixel circle, or, like 30 pixel diameter circle surrounding you. You cannot see a foot in front of you. And all you hear is like
Oh my goodness.
these horrible, weird growling sounds.
It's horrible.
And then in my video at the end of it, because all these times I was saying, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Oh shit, what was that? and that's what it's like. And I put bear traps around my house, on the outside and in the front of the house, I think. And I think the back one had trapped or had triggered, and there was blood there. And I saw that my wardrobe that was blocking the hole in the house was moved. And so I knew someone was in there, and I walked inside. I was like, I had my stick with nails in it ready to go. And I heard something inside walking around, moving lights around or something when I walked into it. And I just, there was, it was silence except for that reverb of like,
goosebumps.
and then that's
the
when I
whispering.
saw it. And it turned out it was one of those crazy rock creatures, that hides around in the rock area, had been killed by a wolf in my house. So his body was in the doorway, and I ended up killing the wolf because it wasn't attacking me yet. And that was so creepy because you're going through the room to room, because there is a field of use system in the game, which, whether or not it's the best way to do it, I don't know. I think it works really well, because if you can see everywhere around you, that's stupid.
No,
Anyways,
I think it works, yeah.
it's like a really backwood Rainbow Six as you're, going around these corners trying to, protect yourself. It's like, is anyone in here? As you're looking around, and then you turn around and you see that someone was behind you the whole time. Incredibly
Oh my God.
creepy. It's awesome.
I must have got really lucky, because to protect myself, I dragged the wardrobe over to the door, to kind of thinking that if they tried to get in the door, they would hit the wardrobe and not be able to do it. I didn't realize that the wardrobe was hiding a hole in the house.
Yeah.
One of my subscribers let me know. I was like, oh shit, a hole in my room. They could have got in that way. But you could call it boring, kind of hiding in a corner waiting all night. But
It's
it also
tense.
works in a way. Yeah, because I did a let's play on it, and I was like, well, all I'm doing is really standing here. It's not much gameplay, but this is intense. This is the most intense I've ever felt without doing anything.
That's
Yeah.
what like a lot of the survival games are, though. Like Don't Starve, you pretty much can't really go out at night, so you're still just standing there all night,
That's
every
true, yeah,
night.
that's true.
Don't Starve is... I think I try to make this point in my video, but I'm horrible with live commentary sometimes. It's like Don't Starve is a more stylistic approach to it, because they're both very similar in their scope. But Darkwood is like, this is kind of a gritty, I wouldn't say realistic, but it's meant to be more visceral kind of approach to it.
Yeah.
Because when you get hit, like, somehow you feel like you got hit in some weird way, because the sound, again, is really good, and your screen is like pulsating, like as if your character's in pain.
I want to know how they recorded the sound of the dog dying, though. 'Cause that dog
You can
dying
find a lot
was-
of weird sounds on freesound.org.
I mean, a dog had to die to make that sound. It's so horrible.
Well, to give you an idea of what you can find free, this may be really sad, but I found a sound clip, because I was actually doing a video that was kind of years ago. This was, I was trying to make this kind of really realistic sounding Minecraft video or something. Anyways, I found a sound clip of a pig that had its throat cut.
Oh my God.
and it was crying for like 30 seconds, and you hear progressively as
Jesus.
it's losing strength, and eventually it can't squeal anymore. It was the most horrific thing I've ever heard, and you hear it die. It was really good quality too.
Good
and it was
quality.
yeah.
Did
Sorry,
you put that in a video?
No, because I didn't really have use for it. Although,
Okay.
hey, Minecraft, I should do that.
Oh god.
That'd be great. The last dying breath of Mr. and Mrs. Swine. Anyway, so there's a lot of interesting resources out there for
The
people.
internet is an interesting place.
That's
I
true.
played a game recently. Well, we'll jump back and forth, but I want to tell you about this game. It's a game called Dream Giantess. And basically, it's a game for people that have a fetish for a large woman, and it's called macrophilia.
Oh.
So you wander around looking up giant ladies' skirts. And
Really?
yeah. I mean, to
Now-
give you an idea of the internet, right? I uploaded our Trine video. Me, Jon, and Robby did a Trine video. It's got 12 views. I uploaded this video a day after. It's got 700 views.
Holy shit. Huh.
I think a lot of people might be turning off the sound and masturbating to it, though.
Oh
Which kind of
god.
worries me.
I mean, it is a very
that doesn't
attractive
bother me.
thumbnail.
It is a thumbnail of a butt. I mean,
It is.
What was
Exploit
the
that.
title of it?
the title's called. It's very hard to search for it. It's called Giantess, or Dreams. If you search Dreams Giantess, you should find it.
the
Giantess
butt
Games?
in the back garden.
The Dreams 3D Giantess game.
Because I found a channel called King of Giantess.
Oh god.
Giantess Games, PC Episode 2 Dreams, World's Most Beautiful Feet is the title of that video.
Oh, wow.
Episode 3 is Hot Bikini Women. Oh, I think I found your video.
Oh really? By Googling? Awesome.
I looked for Giantess Dreams. The butt in the back garden.
That's
With
it.
My little face there.
Yeah.
That's it. I kind of exploited the thumbnail a bit. Clickbait.
Yeah. Well, it's not misleading.
No, it's
Right.
not. That is a
I did
lot
get
of
some
views.
stick from someone that had the fetish that said you shouldn't call it weird before doing a video on it.
That's kind of the definition of a fetish, though.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a weird sexual attraction.
I replied by saying I was sucked on a piece of candy, danced on a nipple, and floated around a pool bouncing on a pair of boobies. I think it was slightly weird.
Well, that's just the floating giant booby bouncing simulator 2016.
2016, yeah.
It's in early access.
That was a pretty interesting game.
Was this a different developer than the Jesus game that you did?
It is different, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The
that
guy that
one.
did the Jesus game is a guy called M. Dickey. He does a lot of weird, ridiculous games.
Oh,
yeah.
Reach.
Like a prison game, right?
Yeah.
And then
There's
there
a
was
prison game, there's a
Muhammad
boxing, all kinds
Prophet
of stuff.
game. 'Cause Protein Pill has done loads of those.
Yeah, I only found it recently, and I like playing weird games, so this was great for me. I love the way they describe the game. Do you want to hear about it?
Which one is this?
Actually, I wrote it down. This is the New Testament.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest story ever told becomes the greatest story ever experienced. The New Testament takes you back to the time of Christ and allows you to witness his impact on society firsthand. Be the feet that follow him around ancient Palestine, the voice that tempts him in the wilderness, and the ears that hear his guidance. Then
Beautiful
be the
feet.
hand that betrays him, the mouth that denies him, and the eyes that see his death and resurrection. By the time the story has been told, it will be the most personal account ever documented, the gospel, according to you.
Oh my goodness.
And when you see this game, you will understand why that is so funny.
What? It was a really weird game. I just watched your video on it.
But it was amazing. It made its own narrative somehow.
Yeah. Did you play any more of it after your video?
No, not really.
Oh.
Because, yeah. But like it's so buggy and there's people fighting everywhere, and somehow Jesus will run up and say something to me, and then there's another Jesus meditating on a bridge, and he's like, "I'm the real Jesus."
Yeah, and then like
And
you turn around
the
and
game
Jesus like punches a guy in the face.
It looks so ridiculous, but somehow there's a narrative in there.
Well, the
In
real
some weird
Jesus,
way.
please stand up. Please stand
Yeah.
up.
And the real Jesus is in the desert, and I have a rock in my hand, and I'm like, well, if he's the real Jesus, I can kill him and he'll resurrect.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I start bashing him with a
Did
rock.
he turn the rock into bread? And then did he say, "Can you smell what the rock is cooking or baking?" And I screwed that one up. That one had so
Yeah.
much potential.
It,
I'm sorry.
it played out in my head before you said it, though, so it worked for me. Anyway,
I try.
enough about all these weird games that I
So
play.
Darkwood,
Yeah, Darkwood.
10 out of
is
10.
so good. John, go and complete the prologue and get into the meat of
Well, I
the...
think
At least
I might
the
have.
prologue.
If I'm like, I know that I ended with like a guy coming across like an unconscious guy and picking up the unconscious guy and taking him back to my house.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
there's
then I
still
woke
more.
up. Oh, really? Shit.
You wake up. See, what... This is confusing to me.
No spoilers.
Well, this is just one point. Like, were you the guy in the forest, or were you the guy starting out?
When you meet the Wolfman?
No, in the prologue.
Oh, okay.
Were you the guy that was in the forest that got picked up, or were you the guy that picked up the guy?
I think you're the guy that gets picked up, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Aren't you
Does he have a
both?
hat?
It's kind of ambiguous, and I like it like that.
Hmm.
Interesting.
It's kind of strange. Like, did I just take on a new person, or what?
Well,
It's
I
really
thought
neat.
I thought it was going to be quite a open experience, but apparently when you level up twice, there's a bit of story that happens, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, that was the end of my video as
And
well.
I kind of got really taken aback by that. It was a nice surprise.
So the story doesn't end like after the prologue?
Oh no.
No, it's kind of sprinkled all over the place.
Oh, cool.
What's interesting is that the story happens in terms of your leveling up, but also your in the objectives that you do, because all the characters around in the world have their own kind of, maybe not backstory, but they have their own motivations for what they're looking for, and it's kind of
Yeah.
one of those things like in most RPGs where it's like you walk up to one guy at level 1 and he's like, you know what, I have what you need, but you have to do something for me. And then
Yeah.
you go to the second guy, he's like, I have what you need, but I also need something. It's kind of like that in a way, but it's so much
Better.
but because it may take you 5 days between these objectives, the journey of going between these objectives is way more important. It's just kind of what actually drives you to keep playing at some level is, wanting to find whatever they're looking for, if that makes any sense.
I also
Like,
thought the map wasn't too big. Like some would say it's a bit too small, but I think it's a nice size because it's not open to the point where you can just go on a massive quest because you always have to go back to your house. I think it's nicely sized.
Initially, I kind of agree, except I think that if I were to go back to it, because I was wanting to start my my official let's play Darkwood tonight.
Yeah.
That I think it probably is a bit small.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it just what was it, 12 days ago went on early access. It just released. Obviously, they've been working on it for a while, but it's more than likely that they'll implement some sort of system to where, maybe if you go enough in one direction, it will load a new area, which would be kind of neat, like a tile system.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think it's a bit small, and I think right now the world is dense enough in a way for its size.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want them to just put more stuff into the same space, because I think then it would kind of have too much stuff.
It'd be too much, yeah.
Because what is what adds to the experience is the fact that you're walking for a little while between areas, and you're just all you hear is the rustling of the grass and the trees and the random crows that are calling out, and maybe a twig snapping. Like that experience going between those areas kind of builds it.
The crows, man, my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, the crows are good.
They're great.
I want to say, I forget how Don't Starve works, but there's no real map, right? Oh, there is a map.
It's all randomly generated.
Right.
But you walk around
in Dark Mode, you
to
don't
explore
appear
the
on the map.
Yeah, it's basically how a map works.
You have to like figure out
find locations.
Yeah,
right.
Like I'm here, that's there.
That's
I'll go
cool.
in this direction.
Like I was just next to like the chicken lady, and I'm on my way back down to the bottom right. When am I going to walk into my house? And maybe that you walk into the pig pen or the pig guy or whatever it is, and like, wow, I totally overshot this, and then you kind of figure out the way the map works.
That's a really good choice to do that, because a lot of time when I play these games, I'm like looking at the mini map and like I might as well run on the mini map.
Yeah.
Look at the actual game. Whereas this, you're like, okay, I need to go southwest, and then you just go southwest.
So it sounds like it's a bit more immersive doing it that way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I would just say that it subtly uses very simplistic. It's a very minimalistic game, but it's kind of like if you were, I don't know, maybe this is a bad way to put it, but if you lost a sense, your other senses become more attuned. So in this game, its minimalism allows it to be much more impactful as a result. I don't know if
it's really
that makes sense.
artistic kind of game, yes. It's very artsy. But like, as say in Don't Starve, when you're running, you're constantly checking your map to be like, oh, okay, I'm here, I need to go there.
Yeah.
And check it again. Okay, I'm here, I need to go here. In Darkwood, it's different. Just like, I'll just run until I hit this, and then I know where I am.
Oh, okay.
And then
That
when you
can be
miss
really
it, you're like,
tense.
oh my god, where the hell am I?
Yeah, that can be really tense when you need to go home. And you're
So-
like, well, the tractor was here before, where is it now?
So you have to go home at night? Can you not like camp out?
You'll get mauled and killed.
Not
basically.
Okay.
outside, but there are cabins. Or maybe there's just one cabin, I'm not sure. But there's basically other buildings you can stay in.
Okay.
Through
Pig
the
farm
night.
I came
If say
across.
you're too far away and something's following you, for instance. In my video, I found this cabin. No one was in it, except for a dead guy and 3 wolves in a closet.
Yeah,
And I walked in
Oh.
there, and these 3 wolves were staring at me because I had the pet perk, which causes them to not attack. It's one of the first
I didn't.
unlocks, and so they're staring at me, and they follow me like as if I'm covered in meat. I mean, you know what I mean? Like literally, there were steaks hanging off me. They're sniffing me, and they're right next to me, and I just back away into the other room, and then I murder them
Oh.
one by one, and then I loot the
goodness.
guy.
I love when a
So-
sentence ends like that.
Yeah.
And then I murdered them all.
Oh.
and then I killed them all. So yeah, Darkwood, fantastic, and I am very excited for where it's going to go.
Same as the forest. I'm excited to see that when it's.
Yeah, me too. 'Cause
complete.
did you see its new update?
I did. I jumped in and checked out the bow and arrow, which is as I would have expected.
Pretty glitchy.
Yeah.
They also added like
So-
two models to the plane, didn't they?
It said that, but I didn't see any of them.
Well, fuck.
Maybe it's not in yet. But generally, it says it looks better, but it ran a bit worse for me.
Oh, really?
I was down to like 30 FPS.
Oh, shit.
Well, they did hire a new graphics developer to work on it.
Oh, like
Who, has
recently?
been improving. Yeah, within the last month or so.
Oh, wow.
Who was telling me about that? Or I think I was watching
Probably me.
your vlog.
Yeah.
I think you talked about it in your vlog, the guy that made the mods. or whatever.
He, Sonic Ether, or Cody Dar, he was the one that created these Sonic Ether's unbelievable shaders for Minecraft.
Yeah.
One of the most popular shader mods for Minecraft. And basically, he's been living off AdFly money for like the last 2 years. So this is a huge opportunity for him to actually be able to work on a game like he's always wanted to. Working in an engine that you don't have to spend 6 months trying to work around something that would take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
he's
a
the
lot
one
of the
who's
work in Minecraft modding.
He's the one who's working on the
Sorry?
forest?
Yeah, he's now working on the forest as the main graphics developer.
Wow.
So,
I wonder there's so many god rays in it. There's a lot of god rays.
What, did they add them recently?
I think they've always been there, but I
No, but
noticed
he
them a lot more.
only jumped on like 40 days ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And he's been telling me all the stuff that he's had to like rip out of the engine to replace because they were done. Because Unity has a lot of default stuff that kind of works okay, but he's really particular about stuff should be physically accurate. Kind of, he's that kind of perfectionist.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear.
But optimization takes time, so I'm sure he.
Have you played the Forest?
No, I haven't. I've been trying to
Check it
bug him for an email to the developer, see if I get a copy or something. But I have too many games to play as it is. I have like 4 games that are coming out in the next week, and I've yet to play them.
Ooh, which games?
I feel bad. I got a new one from Adult Swim. Let's see. What is it? Mega Coin Squad.
Oh.
And then I
Coin
got
Squad.
Orbital Gear. Yet to play that. Then there is Neon XS?
XS, yeah, I have that one.
XC. Did that just come out?
I don't think that's out yet, is it?
Oh, it's coming out in a week in 4 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have another one that I can't find. But I've started categorizing my stuff on Steam as stuff that I'm supposed to be covering, but have yet to. So it allows me to easily see, like, I'm bored, I should do something. And I can see directly what I should look at.
That's a really good idea. For a while there, I had like 8 games that I had to do like first impressions of. So I used like the sticky note program on Windows and just had them all on there. And I noted like which ones I'd recorded, which ones I'd edited, and which ones I'd uploaded.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that for a while.
So I just have a category for IMHO impressions or whatever. And it makes it easy.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what I have to play. So, anything else interesting you've been dipping your toes into?
John?
Move on to John. What you been playing, Sam?
I haven't actually had that much time to play games for the last few days. Like yesterday, for example, I got home from work and I turned on my computer and I boot up Vegas right away. And I just yesterday all I did was edit videos because when I was recording Trine with Jimmy, I filled up my hard drive, which is dedicated just to recorded footage. So I need to start getting rid of a lot of it. So, I've been really hardcore editing and trying to get rid of all the raw footage. So yesterday I just, I got home at 6 and, I ate dinner and I showered and everything. And I started editing at about 7. And at 12 I went to sleep, and all I did in those 5 hours was edit videos and watch YouTube while they were rendering.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've almost edited all of our Trine stuff.
Speaking of lots of apps, I was on the Let's Play subreddit just chilling, and I saw this guy post. Someone was like, how many videos should I upload a day? And this guy was like, I used to upload 5 episodes a day.
Whoa.
I think I remember seeing that.
How do you do that?
Even if you had 1 million subscribers, why? You're cannibalizing all your stuff.
Yeah.
Post 2 a day, maybe. Even some really big channels. I mean, the most you want to do is 2 per day.
I mean, you could argue if you're very small, then the more episodes, the more people watch it. It's just kind of vomiting, really. I don't know how many new people would.
I've had people that have told me, you're posting way too often, or I'm gonna leave. And that was
Really?
Really?
for a week I was posting like 3 per day.
On your Let's Play
Just
channel
because
or your...
it was on
or your
my
other
I don't remember. Maybe it was on my LP channel. And that only just now is 290 something subscribers. But instead of that, because in the past it's very easy for someone who's been in a rut to finally feel like they can get something done, and they just like you said, vomit them onto a channel. Problem is, people don't like that as a viewer. Because for me, I don't actually look at my sub box for what to watch. I specifically have channels that I want to watch. I mean, I'm a very specific case because,
Right.
while I use Twitch and YouTube for stuff to watch, I have specific things that I look out for to watch. But whatever. So, because I did that a lot, where I would be like, I haven't recorded for like a month. I've been totally out of it, because you have your moods. Mine lasts a long time. And so I'll finally record like 3 hours of a game. Like, I'm totally gonna get these all out. But then you have them out, and then you have nothing to keep going.
Yeah.
So I've built up. Maybe I haven't mastered it, but I've so far have a pretty good track record for building a backlog. And I've been doing a video per day since June 30th, I think. A video every day on the side channel.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm terrible with that. So when I went to hospital a few months ago, and I was like, oh shit, I have no videos. So my channel like died for like a whole few weeks. But
I mean, it's also important not to think, I haven't posted in a while. Oh my god, the world is ending. Because if you do that, then what comes to mind is, I have to make it good. And therefore you begin planning something very intensive, all while there's still nothing going up on your channel.
Yeah.
That's something that I've has been a huge issue for me in the past. And I feel like if you just stay consistent, you're never stressed like that. Because like right now, because I just finished 2 series on like the same day, I don't have much footage. I have maybe 2 hours of footage to go through, which isn't that much. But when I was in the middle of my great amount of consistency, I had maybe 25 hours of footage to edit. I mean, I have a huge amount of hard drive space, so it was easy for me. But I know that I can just, I don't have a video to put up today. I can just spend half an hour editing a video.
Yeah.
And I have one done. So that's why I tell people, don't feel bad if you record all in one sitting. Because you're only editing, you're only one editing session away from a video on your channel. You don't have to be in the right mood. Right, you know what I mean? You don't have to be in the mood to record. It doesn't have to be quiet. You don't have to be energetic. You're just
all you have to do is open up Vegas or whatever, watch it for 20 minutes, and bam, you've got your video.
Yeah.
Right, and so I try to tell people, plan out your recording when you're in the best mood, and then edit. When
literally whenever.
The best. Yeah. So some days, if it's really good, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Like when I did Metro and Thief, I edited 12 or 13 videos that day.
Wow.
Now Thief, it's a huge pain, because I don't know if you guys have seen my Thief stuff. That game is really boring.
Not really.
So a Thief episode would take about 2 hours to edit.
You do something that's quite interesting, though. You live stream your edits, don't you?
For some games. For Thief,
Right,
because there's an actual logic behind the way I edit it. And that's a 20-minute episode, and I'll put hour and a half to 2 minutes into it. Or sorry, hour and a half to 2 hours into it for an episode. Because I'm condensing, if I actually published it, there's obviously a lot of overhead doing the thumbnails, metadata, all that stuff, uploading, say 4 videos. But that 4 videos are really boring because I'm doing a side quest or something that's really awful. Thief is really boring. So I decided...
A lot of sneaking around in the dark, isn't it?
There's a lot of sneaking around the dark and waiting to get to where you need to be. Because the game is 90% traveling through the same city to get to where you need to be. and the same guards are there all the time. So what I thought is, I'll just do a incredible amount of jump cuts. So I did 2 videos which are almost completely jump cut. And I labeled them literally like, where if I can find them? Let's see here. Let's Play.rar and chaoscinema.7z, like as a joke. Like these are hugely compressed episodes, and both of them are 20 minutes long. One's 18 minutes and the other is 20 minutes. And both of them represent about 90 to 100 minutes of gameplay.
Holy crap.
That I compressed into that spot. And if you watch it, you better be paying attention or you miss a lot of stuff. But the idea is that nothing happened. I mean, I cut out all the waiting. And I did a lot of like really great montage stuff. Like a fight scene in Thief will last 30 seconds sometimes. Doing all, you hit them, you then, dive out of the way, you hit them, you hit them, blah, 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 back and forth. And so what I did was, for one of them, I just cut out the moment he moans or growls when he's about to attack, and then it just becomes like a groan montage. It's like, yeah, what, and it becomes really fun. And so
I
that
love
really
jump cuts, man.
That boring moment now is funny. You know what I mean? So I put a lot of time into that because I felt like it actually, instead of just getting to the point, it also made the video much more entertaining, I think.
Yeah. I
spoke for a long time. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool. I played a game called The Testament of Sherlock Holmes, and that game is well and truly very, very boring. But I enjoyed it so much because I did maybe about 100 jump cuts per episode.
Oh my god.
Might be exaggerating, but if you want to see some jump cuts, go watch that because it's funny as balls. Because the game is like...
Balls are funny.
It's just kind of wandering around, looking at objects, piecing together the puzzle. Well, it's what you expect from a Sherlock Holmes game, but I just turned it into a kind of piss take. With so many jump cuts.
So many of your videos have jump cuts, though, don't they, Jimmy?
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of the Let's Plays don't have them. Yeah, if the game has a lot of downtime, not because I can't talk over it, just because it's not thrilling.
Not as interesting to watch. Yeah. I guess I'm just thinking of like Gary's mod.
4 p.m. Oh yeah, the Gary's mod stuff. I did an update video where I just wandered around and let people see what it's actually like.
Yeah.
Because often or not, I'll cut down 2 hours of footage into a 6-minute video.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see like how you actually, find these people
find weirdos. Yeah.
Yeah. And like make the videos.
The magic of movie magic.
Yeah. It is movie magic.
That's what it was, yeah.
If you watch my Gary's mod stuff, you'll think like, oh my god, there's a weirdo on every corner of the street, and like every 2 minutes there's going to be someone strange. But there's a lot of time I'll wander on Gary's mod and just nothing's happening.
I mean, it's kind of like when you watch late night TV or something, and they have a reporter on the streets. He's like, "We're going to interview some people," and like, wow. There's a lot of retards on the streets. It's like, no, it's because they probably were out there for 3 or 4 hours trying to find everybody. And a lot of the people got the answers right.
It's like what's that guy? Derek... No, not David Blaine, shit. Who's the psychic British guy? Does lots of mind reading and... Darren Brown, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like he'll show something where he'll be like... He'll read someone's mind on the street. But it's the same kind of thing where he'll interview about 100 people, and one of them he'll get right, and he'll put that in his show.
Yeah.
And he's openly admitted that, and he does it the same with a coin. He's like, I'm gonna flip this coin 10. It's gonna land 10 times on tails in a row, and it does it, and it lands 10 times in a row. And then he says, "This is how I did it," and he filmed for an entire day just flipping coins until he got it.
God.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
I think I remember seeing that.
But it's pretty awesome. You're like, it changes your perspective on what you see on TV now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've I guess the point I was getting at a while ago was some games, your failings and you having to redo things, and the downtime, can actually build towards the experience, which is why, like my Metro series that I did, there's very little editing, because as I'm staring off into the distance and walking around and looting, it's so atmospheric. Yeah, it's so atmospheric. I feel like this totally builds the experience.
You'd be depriving someone by cutting it out.
Yeah, so in that case, I go through and I cut out, I don't know if anybody's seen my timelines, but I make a ton of cuts, but I don't actually cut out any content. I'm doing the cuts so that I can cut out my voice at times, because there's sometimes where I say something that just doesn't fit or something. It's a beautiful story. I can cut out what I say, or I can retime it, but a lot of times I'm just cutting out all my keyboard noise when I don't say anything for 30 seconds or something, so that you're focusing only on the game. But like I just started editing Dishonored today, since I just started that. And what I do is I figure out, like I have my project here right now, but what I do is you figure out like how far you've gotten so far in whatever you're doing. And if I fail that point, like let's say I die at, there's 3 guards, I get up to the first guard and I die. I'm going to jump cut and montage everything up to the first guard. And then if I get past the first guard to the second guard and I die, everything up to the second guard is kind of montaged and jump cutted, because you've already seen what's happening, right? So there's no reason to keep that in there. So that's kind of the thought process I'm going through when I do this stuff. Is I keep unedited my progression, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You guys see what I'm saying? Because people have already seen what's going on, I guess.
I think I do mine a little bit differently from that. What I do is like I leave in the entire like first attempt, and then if I fail like after that, or like if I get it on the second attempt, I'll leave that in as well. But like if I fail on the second attempt and get it on the third attempt, then I'll just cut the second attempt completely.
Yeah, I mean, it varies on the context, obviously, but
yes,
I sometimes do the same thing. If I think an entire playthrough is humorous, just in the way that I go about it, I probably won't do as many cuts, because that entire thing might be funny or something.
Yeah. So, John, you played a game called 4 p.m., right?
I did play 4 p.m. Yeah, I played the entire game in one go.
Me too.
What?
Have you heard of this game?
I've never heard of it.
It's one of those, how would you say,
narrative-driven
adventures, experiences.
Yeah.
You compared it to Gone Home and Dear Esther, John.
Yeah, those are kind of like the big ones of those genre kind of thing.
So
in a good way?
Well, I thought it was pretty shitty.
I quite liked 4 p.m., but I thought Dear Esther was really shitty.
Oh my God.
I haven't played Dear Esther.
I hate you.
Really?
I'm kidding.
I couldn't stand Dear Esther.
I love Dear Esther, but I totally understand why people don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to be like a film criticism student to enjoy that game.
I studied film at uni, so this game I found very hard to play. It felt like I was playing a really bad like student film. That's what it felt like. And
why?
Apparently, well, it says, on the tin it says we deal with the issue of alcoholism and suicide. What was it? There's like a little warning there. But I just thought the story was so generic. It's kind of like, oh, she's drinking, therefore she's doing bad at work, and I just thought it was like pretty superficial. And
so it had kind of a very
it's basically a short film that you walk around in.
Yeah,
like a really shallow approach to the subject.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's kind of like a college student's take on alcoholism.
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm not gonna say the guy might have some first-hand experience. I don't know, maybe, but it just felt to me kind of very plasticky. And then the deal with suicide, they dealt with suicide by having a guy on the edge of a building. That kind of stuff.
That was it.
Like really
I'm going
stereotypical.
to jump off, and you're like, oh, so this is how you deal with suicide.
Rather than somebody sitting on their bed contemplating for 12 hours.
What is that game? Something
Halo?
Sunlight. Something Sunlight. Actual Sunlight?
I have no idea.
It's a game that deals with depression. It's pretty much a...
Actual Sunlight. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. And basically, you just kind of spend the whole day in bed and you read stuff. That's what depression really is like, though. So I found that really real. But I thought 4 p.m. was just kind of, this felt like a few people just coming together to try and write something really fast.
Yeah, like
fast being the key word.
It's like, well, ironically, it's like it's 4 a.m. and you have a project due. And what is so easy to write about, and people don't like? I know, drinking. Something like that.
I mean, I think with me is I studied like film in uni, so I had a lot of classes, like script writing classes, where people would pitch scripts, and they're all like this. They're all like this game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, we'll have this twist in the end, right? And the twist is that all along he was like, they knew each other. And that's the twist in 4 p.m. It's kind of like, oh god. When that twist happened, I was just like, the whole game was just for that twist, and the twist wasn't that good. well, that's me just bashing it. But it's the kind of game that it's one of the first of what could be a really cool experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
it's
5
opening
p.m.
the doors to.
And it's you having Chinese takeout, watching, Arrested Development reruns on Netflix.
Real life simulator.
Mom, can you bring me the ketchup? Or something like that.
Cheesy puffs.
Cheesy puffs.
Yeah, it's not a lot of games are doing it, which is why I played it and kind of respect it. And I like to see more of these games, just done better.
Well, maybe they'll do the next one better.
Sorry? Yeah. I should go make it.
Yeah.
Well, if you think you're so good, go fucking make it yourself.
Well, no, like they say on the store page, they're hoping this is like the first in a series of, a few games, so maybe they'll...
Yeah, which is cool.
They might take the criticism and make a better game for the next one.
Or go away. God. Take your criticism and be like a tree and get out.
Get out.
Oh wow, we're over an hour. That's pretty cool.
Here we are.
I can kind of see what you were saying with you can respect these new advances in
trying something new.
Methods of storytelling. Like, I have not played Gone Home, even though I know so far that it murdered millions of people. It slept with my mom, and it causes cancer. Now, for me, I don't really believe that, even though I've literally heard those things. But I can still kind of respect it in a way, because, I mean, it's a hard game to market.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I don't know. It's what they wanted to do. It's still something new. This is not a common trend still in games. I mean, even for indie games. Most indie games are, platformers or roguelikes.
Roguelikes.
Because those are very understandable concepts that people can make games for.
Horror.
Anyways.
Horror roguelike simulator. Sorry.
But I can totally understand why somebody wouldn't like Gone Home, but at the same time, this still is not that common. It's still some relatively... that people are still trying to explore. We still don't know the best way to tell stories in video games. They're not like movies.
Walking simulator, that's a term they came up for it.
Yeah.
I've begun using that just as a descriptive, because I know a lot of people don't like that, even though I love them. Good example is I'm reviewing a game right now called Ether 1. I don't know how many of you guys have played that.
No.
Nope.
No, nobody?
Nope.
Okay.
That's
It's,
not
I'm working on my intro for it. But basically, the way I had it set up was Portal 2, Myst, The Stanley Parable, Amnesia. What do these have in common? They're words. What else do they have in common? They're titles of games. What else do they have in common? They're really good. Ether 1, that was kind of what I was wondering. Ether 1 kind of uses aspects of all those. So like in Stanley Parable and Portal 2, you have, or actually Portal as well, you have this character which is kind of controlling the environment, but you're still the one kind of executing it. Amnesia, in the sense that the way in which you interface with the world. I would also probably put Penumbra as well. You know, that type of, you can pick up objects and move them around and explore the world and stuff. And Myst, because kind of Dear Esther, because the world is kind of it's kind of a painting. You explore it. It's really what's the word?
The world is a painting.
I can't think of the term. Basically, it's a really pretty world that's kind of fantasy that you explore. Anyways, general concept is you're kind of this technician that goes in people's dreams to explore what's ailing them, and then inside of their dreams, kind of like Inception, I guess. Inside of their dreams, you then try to remove the thing that is the problem. Like it could be a disease, it could be a terrible memory
really
that's
cool.
causing. It could be a terrible thing that's causing PTSD, or what have you. I'm only about 2 hours in. I'm writing very detailed notes, like half a notebook worth, because I like my detailed reviews. So far, I absolutely love it. There may be a twist later in the game that causes it to be ruined, but right now, it looks beautiful. The sound design is fantastic. It moves really smoothly, and all the textures are basically painted or drawn. The only problem so far is that the texture resolution on maximum settings is still really low, so those great painted textures still end up looking kind of pixely, if you get what I mean, which is a shame because the game runs really well, and it looks so good. It would just be great if the textures were a little bit higher quality. And the other problem is the audio system they use has a really bad fall off. By that I mean you could walk past a doorway and suddenly you would hear like a generator running, like a really loud generator. You walk 2 feet behind you, like you back up 2 feet, where'd the generator go?
And it's gone,
There's this huge issue where you walk through a room and suddenly you walk into this kitchen and you hear like this rumbling, like the refrigerator's running. And you walk upstairs and you hear like seagulls out the window. And then you walk outside and then you hear the ocean, but not the seagulls. It's really weird, and that's the biggest. I mean, it's kind of a minor issue, but I guess it says a lot right now that's the biggest issue.
It breaks a lot of your immersion, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The game does such a good job with the sound effects. They're really high quality, and then I walk to the other side of a room, and suddenly that huge, generator that sounds like it's running a factory is silent.
It's just gone.
I've got a
that's a bit
newfound respect for sound design.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Gone Home, the sound design was so good as well. It's like you're walking around a house and the house is creaking and there's a thunderstorm outside and the rain's hitting the roof, and it sounds so much like you're like at home and there's rain hitting your roof. It just sounds so good, which kind of just immerses you even more.
And then like Darkwood, like you were saying, the sounds in that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the game is absolutely beautiful, and when you play through it, I feel like every 30 seconds I have to stop and take a screenshot, because it's like if you're a photographer, you'll want to take pictures of the whole thing.
So what's it called? Ether 1?
Yeah. ETHER.
Right.
I'm going to look it up quickly.
Now, obviously, it's one of those games where you're not really going to like it. I mean, it's kind of Dear Esther in that way.
Oh.
It's very slow.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's just a game that I was trying to write down, because you know how my reviews are. They're very have a very specific angle.
It deals with the fragility of the human mind. Ooh.
The description really is bad. It makes it sound really kind of pretentious.
It looks really cool, actually.
And maybe the game is. I don't know.
Have you heard of a game called Dream?
We've been talking about dreams a lot.
Yeah, just Dream. DRE.
Which is funny because you opened it with dreams and suddenly we're talking about
I
dreams.
did, yeah.
Oh.
But
no, I have not.
It's another kind of walking simulator where you start off in a house, you go to sleep, and you wake up and you kind of explore this guy's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And that has a lot of
looks pretty
potential
good
as well. I have a few videos coming out over the week,
Ooh.
I think, but it has so much potential that it's not doing it, because it puts you in a maze and it says turn off all these lights and you're trying to escape from a smoke monster, and you're like, god damn it.
Wow.
And you're being chased by a smoke monster, but you're like, the premise is so good that you go into this guy's dreams and find out his story through what he's feeling, and there's a nightmare thing and stuff later on, but I did this thing and I spent about 20 minutes turning off all these lights, and then they were like, alright, do it 3 more times, and I was like, fuck it. That's it.
Fuck you.
But
Have you guys heard of
that out, it's
Only
really cool.
If?
Yeah, I did. I think so, quite a while ago.
It kind of
If.
looks similar to Ether 1 and like those sort of games, I think. I haven't played Ether 1, but like Only If, it's free to
it's
play.
free.
It just popped up on Steam I don't know,
I
a
did
week
play
or two
this.
ago, and it kind
What's
of
it called?
captured my attention. Only If.
I did a video on it when it was in alpha.
Oh, really?
It's not what you would expect it to be.
Oh, really?
Sorry, but you're not permitted to view these materials at this time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because it reset my birthday,
You.
and
Oh.
now I can't change my birthday to the actual birthday. So
Of
sorry,
course.
didn't mean to derail. Only if.
You kind of wake up after a late night of partying, and there's like a guy on the radio that's playing mind games with you, and it's pretty stupid. But
Oh, really? It looked pretty cool. I was looking forward to trying it.
well, try it. It's free.
Yeah, I've got it installed. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet.
All right, I won't spoil it for you then.
Sweet.
I'll have to give it a try. Because I'm pretty open about that stuff. I mean, again, I'm a film student. If anyone watches any of my film stuff or my short film projects, you know what my thing is. So a lot of this stuff fits in with my
It's
kind
pretty
of thing.
cool when you put those into your reviews. I quite like that. Having a dialogue
that
with
stuff?
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works
Those
pretty
are
good.
so difficult. They take a lot
Yeah.
of time.
I can imagine. So there we go. We've gone a bit over time, but yeah. You guys are gonna
Actually,
else to bring up
Yeah,
before
I had
we
one other
close
game
off?
to mention.
Yep.
Which, it's funny because it's another dream game. It's called,
Oh wow.
and it's a good one. It's called Dream, or The Dream Machine. Now, I
Ooh.
had gotten this in actually one of those Indie Royale bundles, which, that's usually where developers just shovel stuff into. And then I actually found this on my Steam list. It was like, where did I get this from? And then I realized it was from a bundle. And it was some of the best, 2 hours, I think, that I put into it.
This looks.
Some of the best
Nice.
2 hours I put into a game. It's a point-and-click game. It's not finished yet, but it's released in chapters. Each chapter is about an hour, I think. How many chapters do I have?
It's available on Steam for $5.
Well, one
Yes.
chapter.
Chapter 1 and 2.
Oh, is the first two? Okay.
Yeah, it might be out.
Oh, so
already.
I do have chapter 3. All right. Anyway, so yeah, 2 hours for. It's probably 2.5 hours for about 3 chapters of it. It's one of those games, again, like JaRDev or Ether 1, you take your time with it. And it's really... I remember being floored by how interesting the puzzles were. And all the images in the game are actually handmade and photographed.
It does look like kind of made by plasticine. It looks really cool.
So when you're playing it, it looks like I'm playing on a big 2560 by 1600 monitor. It looks like you're controlling a photo in a way. I mean, obviously there is an issue, like when he's walking, they had to do some cutting out in Photoshop and stuff like that to make it function as a game. But some of the scenes that they draw in the actual dream sequences are they're amazing. So this is the perfect game to start playing at like 1 a.m. when you're still like mentally awake, but maybe relaxed, and just to take your time and go through it. It's so good. I've been wanting to replay it when it's out.
John? I have this already.
Have you played it?
No.
Tell everyone how many games you have in your Steam library.
Right now I'm at 607.
Damn.
So yeah, I kind of miss games.
What's your account, Brett?
Well, just on this account, because I have a few accounts, is 400. Damn. But I'm trying to look through, like my other stuff, because I linked accounts. I don't know if it shows up. Does it?
I don't know.
All games. No, it's only showing this account. But on my other account,
a lot of games.
400? No. 200? Something like that.
But a lot of those you get free, right? A lot of those are kind of review copies or whatever.
Oh, well, for me right now, I've got maybe 30 games through that. But obviously a ton of them have come through bundles. Back when the bundles were worth getting. Humble Indie Bundle, number 6. It's like, I gotta get this before it's gone. Because, it was great. And now it's like, here's, Monday's Humble Indie Bundle with, you have to spend, like, $20 to get the only good one in it.
It's really weird for me now. It's kind of like, here's 2 really shitty games. If you pay more than $20, you'll get one decent one.
And there's actually times where it's actually better just to buy it separately. I mean, I know it's meant to be charity, but the whole idea is these are games that, are kind of old, and the developer is kind of doing something special. So you put the money in for charity to get the games, but if it needs to be an incentive. Like the Square Enix one recently, the first tier weren't good. The second tier was like, okay, this is okay, but I can get this for like 90 cents at Amazon. And the last tier was like Sleeping Dogs, the new Absolution, Hitman, and Tomb Raider, that top-down Tomb Raider co-op game. It's like, but you have to spend $15 for that. But it's one of those things where if this is for charity as the primary goal, then I'll just donate to charity. But it's like, if this is a method of incentivizing me to give to charity while also getting cool games, I'm not seeing it, because I can just get the games I want for cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though in some ways what they're doing probably is getting more funding to charity, but you're getting less, I guess, interaction in a way. Anyways, that's my opinion. It's wrong one probably.
Right. So this has been quite an interesting episode, actually. It seems like we focused a lot on dreams.
That was a good opener then.
But there you go. Thanks for listening, everyone, or watching the still image if you're inclined to do that way.
I think most people do that.
Yeah, I like to do that. Stare at a pixel. If you want to check out Brett's channel, it'll be in the description. You know Jon already. I mean, come on.
Who?
Hello? Guys? Hello?
Hello. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.
A town down.